Yes, baseball world, and welcome back to another edition of Jay's Talk with Jay. We are 1 week away from opening day and we have plenty to talk about, and we're going to try and squeeze as much as we possibly can in today. We are going to talk injuries, we are going to talk opening day lineups. I guess the big news from the beginning of the week was Kirby Yates and his injury. Now, I don't know about most of you, but I started reading some quite disturbing reports about how the Braves declined signing him because he failed a medical, and then the Jays, he failed a medical for the Jays, and then we offered him a contract on smaller terms. Now, I kind of get the whole smaller terms thing, but if there were doubts about his fitness and whether he would be able to pitch, was it a wise move? Was it really a wise move to go and try and sign a pitcher? Yes, I was really looking forward to seeing him play in a Jays shirt. I think he would have been a great addition to the team. But someone who is possibly injured, and there's something's going on there, and we're probably not getting the whole truth, but it just seemed a bit strange that they didn't go for somebody else. Obviously, they from what the reports say, they offered a lot of money for him initially. So for them to come out and say, well, they haven't said, but wherever these reports have come from, as they say, there's no smoke without fire. You'd have to ask yourself, but I think it's a big loss. However, I think that from what we've seen over the last couple of weeks, some of the pitchers that could come in and do a job as a closer, I think that we're okay. I don't think we'll miss him as much as we probably thirst for when we had time to actually get over the news of him being out and probably requiring Tommy John surgery. But big loss, shame. The George Springer injury puzzled me slightly. I'm not sure about the rest of you, but they were saying that he's injured, but it's not as bad as he thinks it is, or his pain isn't as bad as what he should have. Sounds like utter nonsense to me. I don't quite know what's going on there. It's all a little bit puzzling. He's either injured and he's feeling discomfort and he's in pain, or he's not injured and he's not feeling discomfort in pain. I've never heard someone say he's injured but he's not in as much pain as he should be. Okay then, if you say so. I think we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But I think if you kind of skip around all of the nonsense that we've been fed, it looks like he should be okay for opening day, which will be a relief. I think that we're going to be relying on him quite a bit this season to be the catalyst to start everything off. So if he's injured for any length of time, then I will be pretty annoyed, and I think the team will be as well. So I think we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. But as far as the injuries are concerned, yes, okay, one or two people have gone down. The Yates injury is going to be a big loss, but I think overall, I think we're still in a good position. Fingers crossed that we can keep everyone fit between now and the start of the season and moving into the season. We know that we've had issues with our pitchers over the last couple of years where people have gone down one after the other, and the main guys we can't keep healthy. I'm hoping that that's not going to be the case this year, but history does have a habit of repeating itself, so we'll see what happens there. So we've seen some good scores and results over the last few days. Obviously beating the Yankees yesterday, not only beating them but shutting them out, I think was a good sign to see how things will move forward. They've kind of had the upper hand over a couple of games during spring training. Obviously, we don't take too much of it because it's spring training, but I think psychologically, to get a win, not only get a win, to get a shutout as well, I think it's impressive. Bo, 2 homers, you can't ask for much more, and I think he's going to be a key player. Big props to Trent Thornton. I think he's come in this year and he's gone I want a place in the team. I want a place in the rotation. I think I deserve it. And there's nothing, I haven't seen anything to suggest otherwise. He's looked good, he's looked sharp, and I think we could see some good things from Trent this year. Other results this week have been pretty good. I like what I'm seeing, and I think that even the players that have come in that may not get as much game time look like they're trying to push, which can only be good for the team all round. So a little touch on Rodgers and Sportsnet and the coverage that we've seen. I don't think we'll talk about the commentating. If you're listening on the radio, I feel really sorry for you. Hey, watch this, or you should have seen this. We can't because we're listening on the radio. Not me, I've been watching the games. I've been lucky enough to catch most of them on TV. But if you're listening on the radio, it must be hard to listen to that. I know that it would annoy me. I'd want to throw something through the window. But I've just seen random things over the last few days. Obviously, they didn't show the Phillies game, which was annoying because it was a really high-scoring game. It looked like offensively we were very good, and also like pitching-wise, looked like the numbers were good from the guys that actually pitched. It's just annoying. I don't know how they've decided what games they want to show and what games they're not showing, and whether they're going to eat donuts and drink coffee. I don't know what they're doing, but it's annoying. And then I saw a picture on Instagram, and it was the Phillies versus the Jays, and the caption in the corner had Detroit. Must be conspiracy against the Jays. I don't know what's happening. I thought I'd had way too much to drink. Probably the painkillers that I'm on from my baseball injury. I don't know if anyone saw my TikTok or my Instagram, but I managed to fall headfirst, bang, into a brick wall, and I've really messed up my neck and my head and stuff. So if I look a bit rigid today, that's probably why. But yeah, definitely injury of the week. Me, hands down. Idiot of the week, probably win that one as well. So let's move on. So I've decided to do a little bit of a look ahead and what I believe should be the opening day lineup. Now, a lot of people may disagree. Some people might agree. But as you can see on the graphics, that's where I've gone. I think if we start with the batting order, I think that's probably key to where we go with this. Leading off, Springer without fail. I think, unless he's injured, yeah, I would be inclined to give Jonathan Davis a chance. I just think that he might bring a little bit more to the team. Obviously, he's got speed on the bases, but that's if. But I think top of the order, we're looking at Springer to lead off. I'm going Kevin to bat second, mainly because he takes so many walks. I just think that he's going to get on base a lot. So for me, if he's not second, he's leading off, basically. Behind Kevin, I'll have Bo. Bo looks like he's starting to come. He looks like he's found his timing. So for me, Bo has to hit third. He's got the power. He can hit it out of the park, not a problem. Gets on base a lot, and hopefully he'll start to take some walks as well. People aren't going to want to try and pitch around them first three, because when you've got Vladdy batting fourth, he's hitting five. As of today, he's hitting 500. 500 in spring training is pretty impressive. So Vladdy hitting fourth with the power, I think Vladdy's going to have a breakout season. I think that goes without saying. Then just behind Vladdy, I'd have Teoscar again. So who are you pitching around? You don't have anywhere. This lineup is stacked. There's power all the way down from top to bottom. Every single one of them can hit the ball out of the park. And I think for me that's key. Teoscar coming in just after Vladdy at fifth. I think Gurriel bats at sixth. I think Tellez, he bats at seventh. Semyon eighth. Jansen ninth. The only obviously question mark for me is, does Jansen bat ninth, and does Jansen play? You could put Kirk in there for some extra bat, but I think because the lineup is so stacked, I'm not even sure if that's needed. We'll see what happens. I think opening day you have to go with a little bit more experience. I think Jansen's the man for that. But if you look there at 7, 8 and 9, all three of them are easily capable of hitting the ball out of the park. I've gone with Tellez at DH. I think left field Gurriel, centre Springer, right field Teoscar. I think that's for me. I've got a feeling they'll probably pick Grichuk instead, but for me, that's how I would go. I think across the diamonds, pretty simple. Jansen behind the plate, and then starting pitchers row. I think it kind of picks itself really. Like again, I think some of you will maybe have one or two option changes, but in regards to the starting lineup, I think that they are. I think that that's probably the strongest lineup we can go for. There's plenty of power in there. We're going to probably come up against Gerrit Cole. So I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. But I would put money on them to score a few runs with that kind of lineup in there. My opening day nerves might kick in, who knows? But in regards to the opening day lineup, that's kind of how I see it. So there you have it. So there's my 1 to 9, along with the starting pitcher. Again, bullpen. We're going to have to wait and see how that plays out. We don't know who's going to be in, who's going to be out, and there we are. So not a long one today. I just thought I'd get a quick one in. Obviously, I'm still in a bit of pain. But hopefully we'll get something up at the weekend. And then hopefully from next week, we should really be hitting from Thursday near enough one a day. Don't forget to make sure you subscribe, you like, you follow over on YouTube. Hit the podcast over on Spotify and everywhere else. Make sure you hit up the socials on Instagram and TikTok. And I'll see you on the next episode of Jay's Talk with Jay.